to say about football? Because I mentioned something about people being mad at the players for their wage and whatever.
Yeah, and it's resurfaced again. I think one thing that happens here, Chucks, and it's really, really upsetting, is when we have a real problem, we just all look at everything else and we don't look at the problem and how we can solve the problem. And if we don't feel like we can contribute to solving the problem, we just want to make a contribution in some capacity to make us feel like we've accomplished something for the day. Mm. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, this whole footballer situation where footballers are being told that their wages have to be reduced. Now, people are bringing in how much they're making and all of these things, and I just don't think that has anything to do with anything. Mm. If, as a community, we are suffering because too much money is being spent on things that companies can't afford to maintain, which could have a detrimental effect on the whole community, then by all means, I think people should take wage cuts, yes. If it means that more people in the NHS can be paid thoroughly and so on and so forth, I'm all up for that. Mm. But if you just want, for example, if people just want, I don't know, Pierre Aubameyang or Mesut Ozil to take a wage cut just so Arsenal, the football club, can survive, call me selfish, but I don't know if I'll be jumping to take a wage cut. Mm. Yeah. Because I'm a business. And now you have to convince me why your business is more important than my business. If you're telling me my business now, if I don't do it, it affects the community and the people then by all means, I think, we should try and... But if I'm just going to affect you lot, for you lot business, big man, it's got nothing to do with me. And I think, I don't know what's going on, but people are just screaming, players should take wage cuts and what's wrong? It's like they're just resentful that people make that much money. It's just weird to me.
Do you know what I think as well, yeah? I think that there's context missing to some of this because like football players get paid a hell of a lot of money. Yeah, they do. Yes. But no one don't know what they're like, how they're spending their money. So like,
no one.
For example, like I saw the stuff that they were talking about Mesut Ozil and whatever, and that he makes like 300 grand a week or whatever. Yeah, which is obviously half that because of tax or whatnot, and it's a lot of money. Don't ever get it twisted; it's a lot of money. But like, no one knows how much money he actually donates to people who are less fortunate. He might be donating a hell of a lot of money to the people that are less fortunate. And also, on top of that, taking care of the lives of all of his family members. These are all possibilities that no one ain't taking the time to think about. Again, I'm not saying that he's short for a buck, but you know what? It's like, maybe in his mind, he's taking a big wage cut because he's paying for X, Y, and Z, and the less fortunate or whatever. And then you want me to do it again for what?
And it's the ignorance about the situation. Like, people are saying footballers get paid too much. Now, a footballer gets his first professional contract at 17 years old. So you mean to tell me I'm 17 years old, I just get my first professional contract, and then not even a year into it, I'm being told I've got to take a wage cut. But these times, I now have set up my bank balance to accommodate my lifestyle, and now I'm just going to have problems. Maybe I'm just paying a little bit more for my certain family members so they can go through education. I know for a fact, if this happened when I was in my second year or first year of copper, I'd have been screwed. I was looking after my mom. I was looking after bare people. I was trying to look after my whole family. So me taking a wage cut means that I can't even help my family. Do you know what I mean? Which will obviously be a wage. Some people will be like, oh, but you make more than... I hear that, but my bro, with my wages, what I'm left with afterwards for myself, because I'm probably in the same boat as you, because I've got so many responsibilities. But no one thinks about that. Everyone just thinks, if I had that much money, this is what I would do. Yeah. But you've never had that much money, so how the hell can you even think like that?
Exactly.
You don't have a clue what you would do. You don't even know what it is to make half of that.
I hate when people talk about like that. That really does. I used to do that actually. At first, I used to think, not like I weren't passionate about it, but I think, right, like football players get peas and all this type of stuff, yeah. And then all I did was just like some quick rough maths, rough maths that made me change my whole perspective, yeah. And it was as simple as this. Boom. Let's say you got a football player who plays for Manchester United, right? Say, I don't know, let's say Paul Pogba, for example, right? He gets paid X amount of P's or whatnot. But I'm thinking to myself, what's the capacity at Man United? It's like 76,000, right?
Yeah.
76,000.
No, it's like it's mad. It's mad. It's like 80.
It's crazy. Yeah. So then the average ticket to get in there is about I don't know, say £70. You got no more than that. What am I talking about? The average ticket is probably about 150 to get in there. Yeah, season tickets are like over £1,000. Yeah, way over £1,000. Some of them are a few grand depending on what you have. Yeah. So the revenue, the amount of people that are going to see this football match, obviously the football club makes a certain amount of money. So and now, if I'm a player in particular who is a part of this establishment that has now raised a team to be able to, for fans to come and see, I'm a part of this today. I'm support like this. The club's doing X, making X. A certain amount of people are watching it, and I'm supposed to just get £8 an hour, £10 an hour. It doesn't work like that. It's the entertainment industry. If you're gonna be mad at anyone, if you're gonna be mad at football players' wages and stuff, you shouldn't be mad at them. If anything, you should be mad at the people who go and support it. But the reality is it's our entertainment. We like it. We spend our money on it because you know what? Sometimes for some of us, you know what? We got other stresses going on or whatnot. This is our little bit of enjoyment, our little bit of entertainment. I might want to have a skybox and pay money to go and watch my football. I might want to go to a football game or take my little brother for a day out to watch a game. It might actually be a part of my culture. My granddad might have, played football or have a connection to this team. And now, I grew up with that being a part of something that was a part of my family. So I spend my money to go and do that. You can't be mad at them for getting a wage from it. It's a big business. If there was sorry, Po. If there was only 20 people that were going and watching a football match, and a man was getting paid £100,000 a week, then you would think, why is man getting paid so much P if only 20 people are watching? But if 10 million people are watching a game on TV, of course he's gonna get paid P's. He didn't ask for that. That's the entertainment business. It's the same with acting. It's the same with basketball. It's anything in entertainment, that has a lot of people or a lot of traction is good. You're gonna get a high wage, and the ones that get low traction get lower wage. I saw it go. You can't be mad at that. Don't be mad at them. Mad at me. And you know what? I'll probably say fuck you. I want to watch it. How about that?
Do you know what? The minority of people say, I always think it's a frustrated group of people always saying that, who probably have problems in their own life. And it's the reasons why they sort of just express it on other people, man. And I'm not saying footballers don't get paid a lot of money. They do. They get paid. But I just can't isolate every sole situation of a footballer and say, because of a couple of exceptions, you all get paid far too much. Like you said, it's an industry that we all contribute to creating. And this day and age, I can't lie, people, social currency equates to real currency at some point in some capacity. You just need to know the science behind it. So if you're a part of the people who are giving football additional social currency, there's somebody getting paid from that social currency that you're giving. And if it's not you, you can't be upset that it's somebody else. Find a way to get paid from this social currency. Don't make contributions to business if you're going to be upset with the results and the outcomes. Yeah, you got to know what you're getting yourself in.
It's true. And the NHS, unfortunately, like, I feel like that when people compare the NHS to footballers, I just feel like it's a false equivalency. And unfortunately, that's not the footballers' fault. That's the government that people need to deal with and push that anger towards. That's got nothing to do with the football industry. You can't use the same. It's not even the same. People do that all the time. People always say, like such and such is getting paid a certain amount of money while this person's working in the NHS and they're not making. And listen, they are underfunded. They are understaffed. The NHS at the moment is a shambles, but there are people that are working so hard on so little to try and look after us. And I massively appreciate them. But unfortunately, it seems like the government hasn't. And that's why it is where it is. Not because of Mesut Ozil.
Do you know one thing I just thought of right now?
Go on.
I think just as a group, we don't really empower the things that we pity.
Word.
We sympathize. So it's like the NHS is never really going to be powerful unless we just identify it differently. Like, do you know what would make the NHS lit if, for example, we knew the doctors and we knew the people that were doing, and I'm not saying we have to, but if we did and we could identify, what would happen is we would say, wow, you're a lit doctor. When I grow up, I want to be like you, and create this sort of world of the heroes amongst it. All we do is have this pity. And the only time we speak about some of the heroes is when there's bad things happen and you're like, yeah, man. Like, we never talk about them in rejoiceful times, just like on a 5 o'clock on a Tuesday. By the way, this doctor has done this much in the past 6 months. Can we rejoice and go? If you started doing that, I think it will reshape the way the NHS is actually even positioned in people's minds. Because I think some people think, oh man, the NHS, man, it's never going to be saved, but oh well. And then if there's a chance that it can be saved, because we don't really think there's much chance it can be saved because of the way we view it, if it's the footballers, we'll just take it out all on them. It's not even, no one even cares about anything.
Do you know
it's just that.
Though?
Does that make sense?
Sorry to stop you though. It's a funding thing. Do you get what I'm saying? The NHS thing is a funding thing, and that is through the government. So basically, there's a certain amount of money that is there to be spent on like social services, and for them, what they do is they work out, okay, cool, we're going to put a certain amount of money into this, a certain amount of money into that, a certain amount of money into this.
Sorry to stop you there. Irrespective of any of that, I'm talking about on basic, pure levels. Just forget the politics, forget all of that. I understand it comes into play. I proper do. But my thing is this. I just think when it comes to humans will embrace and want to be a part of and want to build things that they look at as a sign of power. If it's not power, man are not interested. That's the reasons why entertainment industries do so well. And things that you pity, Ross, I hate these flies. And things that you pity, you always kind of look down on. And you always might give it a bit of change, but you don't really care like that.
Yeah,
but you feel like you have to make a contribution because
I get you.
It's important. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And I just don't think we don't position the NHS like heroes. We position them like something we should pity. And until they're positioned like heroes, to a certain extent, fam, we're always going to be in these predicaments for the rest of our lives. The police are not positioned like heroes, they're positioned like enemies. So every single group of people that come through will forever, every generation will forever hate them. Yeah. Every generation, for as long as I can remember, I've always pitied the ambulance service and, oh, they got to work all night. And we don't say, you what a hero, you're lit. And like, I don't know. I just
make enough noise. Yeah, make enough noise. Do you know where I'm coming from? Yeah, and I agree with that still. I think though, like, regardless of the making enough noise and stuff like that, if the NHS was well funded and shit, like they would get their dues and people would be all right when they go to the hospitals and all. Because that's the most important thing. Because it is all about money. But with that also being said though, is that like I am a firm believer that there's always strength in numbers in it, yeah. And unfortunately, like you need to have a certain amount of people that are going to be able to make a certain amount of noise in order for there to be changes. So, see, like with the NHS being underfunded and that, yeah, there are a lot of conversations about it. A lot of people do talk about it, but unfortunately, it's not enough, and it's not for long enough. So, see, like with the government, I always feel like this, yeah. If I was working in the government, my thing would be like this, especially if I was on some fuckery shit like a lot of them are, yeah. I feel that the way that some of them work is they make a decision and they know the minority is going to make noise about it, yeah. However, the minority is still could be a big percent. So the minority could be like 40%. 40% of people are going to be upset about that. So 40% of people is still a lot of people. But do you know what I know? I know that after a period of time, they're just going to calm down and they're just not even going to say too much. You know, everyone's raving about this now, but don't worry, give it a bit of time and they'll cool down and we can carry on doing what they're doing. What people actually need to do is be relentless. And then you start making changes. And then maybe people will stop having coming up with these stupid false equivalencies on other things. You have to be relentless on the thing that you feel passionate about. You can't just be outraged or feel some type of way for a...
Because Chuckie, this is the problem. I'm thinking about it right now, Chuckie. I'm trying to find things in my mind that I can equate it to so it can be broken down and understood like the way I'm translating it a bit. Like, because I understand fully where you're coming from, but I think it's the wrong approach. Because I think like that's so much of an obvious approach that I reckon someone would have done it time ago. I think this comes to do with the way the world just views things. And until that viewership changes, this is just what it is. Like, for example, when you look at something that has a lot of money invested in it, naturally you look at it as in a good place, irrespective of anything that's happening in its life. If you've got money, you're in a good place. It's glossy. The moment things are not like that, you're just like, oh, you think about if things go bad, it kind of makes sense. If that makes any sense to what I'm saying. I think people don't look at the NHS the way they should look at it. They don't look at the hospitals the way they should look at it. They look down on them.
People only do it. People only do it
when it's bad, when it's really, really bad.
When it's bad for them. So like,
bad.
Yeah, when you like people only see the problems with the NHS really when something is bad for them, and that's when you actually really see it. And that's, bro, you already know on a private one, yeah, of what going on family wise and whatever. So I'm having to be in the hospitals and whatever, yeah. And bro, it's unfortunate because they're super struggling there. Like, you know, there had been conversations from time about, yo, we need to fund this thing because if it gets peak for us, yeah, it's gonna be fucked. And now that this COVID thing is happening, yeah, it's showing how fucked the NHS is when it comes to funding, because they're now essentially having to tell people, listen, if you're high risk and you've got underlying health issues, there's nothing we can do. They told someone super close to me, yeah, they said, listen, he went there to go and go back on his chemo, yeah. He went there to go back on his chemo. They said to him, it was so brief. This is what they kept it so real with him. They said, you know what, yeah? See, right now, can't do the chemo thing because what the chemo does to your immune system, it crushes it so bad that if you get a flu like this, you're definitely going to die. So, you know what? What you need to do is you need to go home. But we also need to tell you this. You're high risk and you've got underlying health issues. We're understaffed. We're underfunded. So you see, if your heart stops and if you do catch this thing, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do.
All right, I've got it. I think I've got it.
How mad that is. That's
that's ridiculous, Chuckie. But I think I'm getting it, because all I'm thinking about is my journey with hospitals. Like, a hospital can save your life, but no one wants to go there. That is a problem. A hospital is the only place that I know in my life growing up where people can go, they can save your life. But nobody wants to go there, and everyone expects them to fund it. But you're funding something essentially nobody wants to go to unless they're going to die. You should want to go to a hospital. You should just want to go to a hospital, even if you're like, I've got a cut. You shouldn't feel like, I don't want to go to hospital because it's going to work. I think it's just the way they have hospitals. They don't treat it with a level of respect where you're like, I'm going to the hospital. It's always like, oh, damn, I got to go to hospital. Like, I just think every single hospital by standard should be fucking spotless. It should be clean. You should walk in there and the white should be so white, you don't even think like you can wear your trainers in there. You're
underfunded though. That's the... Oh shit, someone ringing you?
No, it was...
It's underfunded though.
But I just think, it is underfunded. I understand.
So what I'm saying is you're getting like one nurse who's having to deal with like 7 or 8 people. That's mad.
I know, but how do we build a respect, irrespective of how it looks? How do you build a respect for the hospitals and the people working in it without the government influencing something? Because the problem we have right now is if the government put their money into it, made it look glossy like they do to all the fucking areas like Tottenham and all of that, all of a sudden you just don't move the way you used to move when it doesn't look like a hood no more. Because the coffee's there, you now have a different respect for the hood because the way I'm not saying you're not going to still be bad. Of course you're still going to be bad, but you don't even feel like you could be too bait on the high road now because you're like, nah, it's too bait, fam. Things are too glossy. Like, how do you make that hospital that looks so run down, how do you make it look so glossy now and you respect all the people in there that you're like, do you know what? We have to maintain this level of... Because it's so at the bottom, it's just like, it's too much work to make it look good.
Yeah, I hear you. But again, as I said, it's because it's so underfunded, yeah. The P's that they get, I feel like there's almost like there's a list of things that they need before, unfortunately, like tidying up and that becomes a thing. It's mad. Do you know what we need to do? We need to get someone. Man. This is what we should do. Yeah, let's get someone who's like on the front line who understands this a little bit more. We did go off topic a little bit because it was more about footballers.
Sorry, bro.
Like no, it's both of us, isn't it? But do you know what? You mentioned something though that is interesting still. Yeah. You see, like with the hospital and that, yeah. And like, I think we did an episode on this time ago about going doctors and that. Some of that, not all of it, but some of that, yeah, is like our culture, you know, and where we come from. Like there a lot of the men in particular in my family and people that I know, yeah, you see, like when man was sick and that, man ain't trying to go doctors.
But you know why though,
Do
Chuckie?
you know the only person I know that goes to the doctors as soon as anything happens is my mum.
Yeah.
My mum is amazing when it comes to that shit. If there's something wrong with her eyelid, she goes to the doctors. Yeah, fucking her eyelash drop out, she's going to the fucking doc. She going and getting a checkup for every rascal thing. And
But you know what? Again, I get it though. I can see it. I'm telling you, I can't explain it or vocalize it, but I get why people don't go doctors, fam. Even simple shit like, I'll be at home. My mum will say to me, don't go doctors, try this, it will work. I try it and it works. So now why am I going to listen to go to the doctor? My mum's told me something, I've done it and it's worked. It's just like,
you've opened up something. You've opened up something so deep, and you don't even realize it. Because you know what? Yeah, some of the medication and that we get from the hospitals are not so much there to cure you. It's just there to maintain what it is that you have. So it's still remember, you got to think medicine is a business, you know. But this goes into a whole other thing. But when someone tells you, you know what? Yeah, check this herbal thing or whatever, this thing that you can't get in the hospitals and whatnot, and it works. It's not in their benefit for that for you to have that, because remember, this thing is about money.
Business more though. If they know obviously, I imagine that the doctors are doing great in business. I understand that. I'm not even trying to say these things.
It's not their fault. I think it's a systematic thing. But
no, but I mean, like, you see, like in business, yeah. Obviously, they know what they're doing. But in business, yeah, like you have individuals which represent certain things which make it cool, so everybody wants to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Now, if you want people to go hospital and you want them to depend on medicines, why wouldn't you have the coolest doctors? Like, people, when something's a business and it's an industry, yeah, people will invest in it. Grime didn't have no money at one point. There was no money. Someone has to make it look, yo, that is good for people wanting to be a part of it. And then once you can translate that to a wider demographic, then it's like, cool. If you had like doctors who represented different people or different social groups as part of a hospital, and when you got there was like a West Indian doctor and this type of doctor and all of these different doctors, and no matter what walk of life you're from, there's someone there that you could relate to, and they might even tell you, yeah, my grandma used to use this as well. I just think it would work more. I think the business of hospitals would expand if I went there and saw like someone I could look like, you remind me of my nan. And then when she gives me advice, like, I'm like, yeah, that's what my nan used to say. Wouldn't that make you want to stay at the hospital more? And it's clean. Surely the business would expand. Or am I just talking crazy?
Do you remember the first time we went to the clinic?
Oh my God.
I was shook. And you know why I was shook, actually? Because man are telling me that I'm going to go there and they're going to fling the cotton bud thing in me and all of that. That all put me off of going there.
That's why I was scared.
Why?
I was scared, and this is how I know I'm an idiot. I was scared because I was thinking, raw, if I get a female doctor and I get hard,
get out of here.
All she does all day is look at it. Imagine she looks at mine and goes, that's bare small. I didn't even want to do it. I was like, what the hell? And say I get hard as well. Or say and this is me mad young, I used to think to myself, imagine I go there and it's a guy and then all of a sudden he starts, this is too much for me. My friend was like, yeah, bro. When I went to the clinic, a man was touching my balls and looking in my eyes. I said, I don't think I'm ready for this. I'm 18 years old.
That's all mad. But you know what? And I had a man. The first time I went, I had a man. And I was trembling, bro. Because I've never been to the clinic before. Man was telling me about this cotton bud thing. That sounds like rape to me. And I just wasn't on it, bro. Yes. For your pistol? Yeah. Yeah, bro. Twice. So basically, what he did was he gave the light one. He gave the light one. And then when you go to the doctors or hospital or anything and they say, you might feel a little pinch on this one, or this one you might feel a little bit of discomfort on this one. And just to prep you a little bit. So he's dropped that bar on me now. And then, then he gave me the second one. And then, fuck it, bro. I'll be honest with you. After that, I was like, I'm not coming here again. Man, what? Listen, allow it. I'm not even coming here again. So I'll be honest. I didn't go for time. I didn't go for ages. And then obviously I got past that fear again. But Do you know what? Actually, I've been having women now, and they're fine. They're professional in that. It's cool. But I understand. It's the reason why I mention that is because there's a similarity between the mindset of going to the hospital and going to the clinic. It's the unknown. You don't necessarily want things stuck in you. And also, and they don't even do that anymore anyway. Like, you just go and you just piss in shit. You can even get the thing in your house. They can send it to your yard, You just piss in a cup and send it to them and that. And then they
do all that.
Yeah, and they just do all of that shit. But also, I just think
all of those things should be made more desirable. I just think if you made it look litter, you'd want to be a part of it. I just think, when I think hospital, I hear crying babies, I hear people screaming, I see old people walking around like, oh, come. It just seems like a place you either die or retire. Let me come in, see some 21-year-old looking lit, wearing off-white. It's like, yo, well, you got a cold, man will help you. I'm like, yeah, let me feel warm in there.
It depends on what you got. Remember when we went to the hospital for your arm? By the way, how's your arm? How's your arm? Is your arm all right now? Is it still, bruv? See what I'm saying, bruv?
It's not all right.
Is it all right or not?
It's not, but you know what?
Fuck. So you just been living with it. You just been living with it.
Do you know what is all right, though?
What's that?
3:15.
Huh?
3:15.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. But yeah, bruv, that was like going in there and people are bawling and all of that. Sometimes, but I don't know, man. If you're in there, remember there was a woman in there, there was a problem with her eye or some shit.
Do you remember?
I remember that. She was, mate. And she'd been in there for hours. She'd been in there for hours.
Yo.
And that being in there for hours is the underfunding thing as well. But yeah, go on anyway.
But Chucks, I want you to, let's paint the picture properly. Because we had a show, Halfcast live show, mad on road. UK Gossip TV, they are. Killed me, love them. You know why I love them?
Shout out to them, by the way.
They're lit. How can they make...
They always get onto me as well. Like, I don't understand, but they're all, they always... Every time there is something about me, it is negative.
Why?
I don't even know, bro.
All right, scrap what we were just talking about. Let's talk about that. What happened? No, I want to hear.
I can't remember the last... Bro, anytime I see an ounce of it, I don't look at it. So like when I'm on my phone, I can tell, or someone will send it to me and I'm like, okay. And then I notice that there's something that they've put, I don't pay too much attention to it.
Let me show you why UK Gossip, sorry to change the subject. I'll go.
No, it's calm.
Because I actually like UK Gossip TV and people need to understand why. They have the ability to evoke emotion. That's what gives them influence. That's what gives them a business. They can put something out and they know exactly what type of people are going to respond. They know what type of engagement they're going to get. And because of that, they now have this big thing that is UK Gossip TV. So they put out something negative about you. Do you know why? They have an audience of people that are nosy. They have an audience of people that have negativity and that they want to express that. There's audiences of people that love loads of different types of things. Do you know where I'm coming from? I'm quite nosy sometimes. You know what? I might say to my brethren, screenshot that and send it my way down. I want to see. Come on, I'm not perfect. Come on, cuz we all got our flaws. Yeah. I'm like a hotel. I'm on the 7th. So I'm just saying, I like the service they provide because the only time man really don't like it is when it's about them. So that means that you like it.
Yeah.
So I think everyone is guilty of liking it.
Yeah.
And we just got to allow UK Gossip TV, fam. They're here to provide a service. And if you don't do anything bad...
You got Shade Borough as well.
As Shade Borough. If you don't do nothing bad, you got nothing to worry about. The reasons why people are worried about them is because you know what the killer is? They're in them shadows. You can't see them. Just when you think they're not there, they're right there. And that's what people are afraid of, man. They might have something lurking. Why are you cross-eyed?
Hold on 1 second. Someone calling me. Huh? I thought someone was calling me. Sorry. Did I just go cross-eyed?
But you're in the house by yourself?
No, I thought I heard someone bawl out my government name. I said, Rascal. Fucking...
Yeah, but that's my rant about them. I love them. I do. But what did they say, though? Because they said something about us, me and you, the other day. Because there was a post about me saying the thing about someone that I helped then tried to block me, and then they posted it.
Oh, did they?
I didn't think anyone was going to... Yeah, I didn't think anyone was going to care.
But, I don't know, man. I don't really pay too much attention to those type of things. I know they're there for a reason, innit? And sometimes I check and whatnot, but more time, anytime, where I've noticed that, like, if I go in my Instagram and I ain't posted nothing for time, but I'm seeing bare activity underneath my name, then I'm like, so, okay, what happened here now? Then I might see a video of like maybe me saying something or whatnot. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I said what I said, innit? I don't need to see the comments. I said what I said.
Straight.
If I'm wrong or, you know what I mean, I got a change of heart, then I got a platform. I'll come and then I'll say my change of heart. But in the meantime, yeah, do you know what? Like, there's a fish there. Try and grab the fish, innit? Go and do your thing.
To be honest with you, they're marketing, man. How
of
can
course.
I be vexed? They're marketing me. They're not even consulting me. They're saying, you know what, Paul? We're going to market you. I thank them. Thank you, my brothers. Love that.
Hey.
Why should I be angry?
You know there's a roadman fight going on soon. Big roadman fight happening soon.
But is it, though?
Huh?
I told you it's crazy when I was watching all them conversations. I told you it's mad.
Well, do you not think it's going to happen? But, okay, before we get into it, context quickly, yeah? I watched this whole thing on... Actually, no, I didn't. I didn't actually watch it
I've been watching this unfold for a minute.
Shout out to Clue, yeah? Big up Clue. But
Clue.
I like Clue still. But yeah, apparently he was on his Insta Live with someone else or whatever, and they were just talking about rappers that they beat up or whatever. I didn't see that.
What?
I didn't see that. But I saw Hypo's one, though. Look, can I be honest with you? And I know that some people might I don't know, they might feel some type of way, like some people that I know or whatever. But I'm going to be honest with you. I really like Hypo, you know. I think Hypo he's podcast material. He's just apart from the times where like he can be super, because he's a street man, isn't it? Then there's times where he can be, you can see that he's just being a bit personal, like because he's got personal and historical issues with man way past this scene that is like extremely deep in it, yeah. But when you get past that, his personality and the way that he says certain things, yeah, is like he's made for doing some type of shit like this, bro. I was sitting and I was watching him having these conversations about rappers and that he feels that he would beat up. All right, okay, cool. It seems negative, innit? But I will be honest. He was being very honest. Like, it's not like he was saying, I'll punch this man up and that. He was saying, right, yeah, this one would punch me up. Like, he'd beat me up. This one would beat me. I don't know about this one. I don't know about that. I'll take you or whatever. And it was like, in his mind, it was just a competitive thing. It wasn't a deep thing other than when, like, a couple people mentioned names that evidently he doesn't get on with. You could see that it was, like, personal from them. But other than that, like, man were jumping in that they know each other. And they're like, what? You think that you could, all right, cool, let's do it. But it wasn't out of anger, though. It wasn't like, what? Like when he said that he'd smoke C-Biz or whatever, bearing in mind C-Biz is who C-Biz is, you would probably think that he would come on the live and go wild, bruv. But it was like, rah, what, is there a bag in this? Yeah, we can do that. Like, I've never seen in my life, like, street man having these type of conversations and genuinely being like, rah, we can make some peas out of this and actually go in the ring and fight. And their thing as well is not that they're going there and swinging it out. Hypo made it clear. The promoter said, if once you get knocked down, not knocked out, if you get knocked down on the floor, then it has to stop. This is not because you're going to punch each other to the death and all of that. If someone hits you in the face and you fall on the floor, it stops. There's 100 bags there. Man want to do it? Man said, yeah. Now everyone wants to jump in and have their little thing here and there. Of course, there's some of them that is a bit like, bit more personal. You know what I mean? Lippy and Wild Boss and that. There's a little bit more spice to that one. But that's because of the paedophilia thing. But, you know, the 16-year-old talking about he wants, I don't know. What did he say? Did he say he wants to chop?
That's not even something I don't even want to give that seriously.
All
honestly,
right, cool. We'll move past
that's disgusting. Yeah. He's a disgusting human being, fam.
100%. But the fight between him and Lippy, I think even though they're cool, I could see that Lippy's like, just for that seeking of attention, I want to be on the bill and I want to have a go. Now there's more of a conversation to say that might take away from initially what this whole thing was about, because really it's just about peas and character and personality and competitiveness. You see competitiveness in rap and all of that. and there's big P's in it. And you know what? If these lot are gonna do that and it's not gonna be a gun thing, I'm watching it. I'm sorry, I am.
All right, Chuck. Chuckie.
I like Hypo, man. I'm sorry.
Chuckie. First of all, I like all of them. If this was a film, if our scene was a film, you've got to ask yourself, is Hypo in there? 100%.
100%.
That guy's character is so defiant. That guy's character is it's incredible. It's an absolute incredible character. If that was a character in a film, I would be so like, you never know what you're going to get next with Hypo.
I know.
He makes it very entertaining from a distance.
Yeah. I also feel, sorry to interrupt you. I'll let you go. Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. But I also feel that like, I feel that there's a big part of him that really wants to come away from that life.
Oh, of course.
Do you get what I'm saying? You could see it. But
there's ambition in him. There's ambition in him. That's why you can't. You have to have a certain amount of respect for Hypo because there's a sense of ambition in him. Obviously, sometimes the way he may distribute it out, it's quite dangerous and so on and so forth. But he's got a level of ambition in him that I really, really respect. Like I said, Hypo would have to be in this film. If there was a film about UK rap, grime, and what's going on, he has to have a role in this film. He's played a very integral part in it. But when you give man them this much time, I just think the worst. Even if you didn't give the man them this much time, it's a fight. Do I trust everyone that's come into that place right there? Because people are saying, oh, but it's the bag. Bro, I've seen rappers go on tour and people are stabbing people and all of these things happen. It's just like, God, people are consistently jeopardizing their bags and then making songs about it and God knows what. It's like, bro, when it comes to the man them, they're so authentic. They're so themselves. They're not playing characters in films. This is who they are 24/7. Unless you know the dynamics of that person and that person they're playing, cause who knows what's gonna happen in a fight? Them men are fighting over Instagram.
But ain't business like because he's gonna. He said something interesting as well because he was like, listen. Like I feel that he said that Lethal B, he feels that Lethal B would be on things if he knew that there wasn't going to be guns involved, yeah. And I think that like the only way that they could make some, because it looks like he might fight him as well, yeah. But I think the only way that they can make something like this work really is if it's behind closed doors and man them and the brethrens and that ain't really allowed there, like. It just has to be the people.
If it was behind closed doors
and it's just them, then I think it'll be fine. But because you know what it is, yeah. The interesting point that you made is that see, like on tours and that, yeah. A lot of the times, it's not the artists that are fucking around and fuck the bag up. It's the man them that you bring. It's the man them, just the friends. The friends sometimes just fuck the whole bag up, bruv. Someone told me I'm not gonna go.
You trust Hypo and C-Biz.
Yeah, 100%.
You trust them to turn up on box. I trust that. I have no problems with that.
But the rest of the man then.
But to be honest with you, I don't even think the people in and around them directly. But you see, like, just the attraction that causes.
Yeah.
I just don't have faith. I think some people are going to look at it and just interpret it all wrong. No matter what Hypo and them man say. Because of what they're associated with. Man are going to turn up and they're going to be rooting for C-Biz in a way where they might punch an ex-man that's rooting for the... It's that type of competitive nature where it will spill out into God knows what. So it has to be a very sick... Because I want them to have the big environment. I want them to be... I want them to come out to someone's song. I want them to do it the way the big boxers do it. Why not, man? Do it properly. I love them. I just want it to be safe and everyone be cool and no problems. Yes. And I just... You get me? I had to drink some tea on the roof and just give you my truth. And I just don't, I put the tea in front of Russ. I just don't trust that happening. I just don't, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I just don't.
Well, time will tell.
In my deep soul.
Time will tell. Jay Space is involved.
Like the Rolly speaking, fam.
Jay Space is
But did you see that? That's not happening no more.
Ain't that why?
That's a prime example. That ain't happening no more.
Ain't it?
That's what I'm saying.
Why?
Nah, man. It went mad on there. Man started talking about we got more guns than you. I don't know what happened.
Do you know what? I thought that was part of the promo. I thought them man were Conor McGregor. Do you know what? I thought Vix was Conor McGregor in. But that's what I thought. Conor McGregor in. So I thought he was like...
I think Vic is that type of person, though. He said it. But Vic said that. Vic said that he is that type of person. Do you know where I'm coming from? And I think Vic is that type of person. In the same breath, though, I think Vic is a very reactive person as well. He's very reactive. So although he may intentionally go out to play a role, within a situation, if he gets triggered, as I've seen, fam, on this Insta Live, fam, he is Cuz, how did he break my phone through he broke my phone through his Insta Live.
Mad.
This is mad. The screen's cracked. He grabbed the phone, it cracked my... His thing is different. His arms are too big. I saw him picking up a tree trunk. He's just on a mad thing. And I just know...
He's wham, innit? He's wham, bruv. Man, a wham. But you know what though? Wham doesn't Wham doesn't like always like win you the fights in the way that you think though. I don't ever get it twisted. I don't think that he's a... I'm definitely not saying he's a punk.
I'm comparing it to them.
Huh? Go on.
I don't compare it to the world though. I'm nasty. I compare it to me.
Oh.
So when I say Vic's wham, I'm thinking if Vic says, Paul, where are you? I have a problem. Look at his arm. Yeah. So yeah, in this situation, come on, there's no problems there. But with him and Jay Spades, that was never... To me, I don't know. I've never seen either of them fight, but I can never say it's either anyone because they're both...
That was one that I felt like could go either way. I just felt like that's the one that could go either way. But you know, we'll see what happens with that, man. Shout out to them, man. Still, I'm gonna cut in a moment, but I have to be on. Oh, is your phone ringing again? Bro, I don't know if you heard Cadets' album. I don't know if you heard Cadets' album, bro, but I proper like it, bro. It's actually pretty good, man. I can't even lie to you. Cadets' album dropped recently.
I haven't
really good.
To it yet. You know, I haven't.
Really, really good. It's very good, man. There's like one part of it, you know, like you see like the tune that he's got with Dino, Advice was a big tune for him and that, and like it helped change his life at that time where you started to get a lot of traction or whatever. That song particularly wasn't for me, but I understood it and I understood why it was a big tune or whatever. But like he's got a couple of those type of songs on there. So excluding that for me, the album is so cold, bro. And considering that as well, that like, you know, he probably would have wrote a lot of them. He died over a year ago, yeah? So some of them songs would have been about a year and a bit old. Maybe they might have reproduced bits of it or whatever. Honorable shout out to those who was involved in it. But it actually sounds genuinely really good, man. Aside from that, there's like, I'm not feeling like there's a lot of music that's grabbing me at the moment. But maybe that might have...
Listen to our song.
Mate, I will do. I will do. I was just going to say, though, maybe it's just got something to do with the mood that I've been in. Because sometimes you've got to be in the mood to listen to certain albums and certain tunes. And you know what I mean?
100%. Big shout out to Crept, you know, because my man's been going through a lot of things have happened with Crept. And you know what? Despite it all, fam, I see my man just persevering and being as positive as what you expected. His beautiful little child, the room's done, and the Cadet project is still done. He done the concert last year, and he takes on a lot of responsibility, it seems like. So, big shout out to him. I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay through these times because I like people that are not afraid to get their shirts dirty in football. And he looks like a man like that. He looks like a man that if I say to him, look, correct, right wing, no problem, bro. And when he comes off he might even tell you what's going on during the game. Look, nah, bro, you get there, and he's just a very intelligent person that gives 100%. But
he doesn't seem like someone who folds. He don't seem like a person who folds. It's like when something happens and there's pressure, he doesn't fold. Like he stands there and will deal with that. Yeah, of course.
But I hope
he needs that.
There for him, Chuckie, you know.
And that's I feel like that's probably his missus for him. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, that album's good, man. Exactly. That album's good, man. And a heady one, like Try the Ting. Like I heard the album, I was mad surprised, bruv. It's like I was mad surprised, bro. When I saw the flipping track, when I saw the track list, yeah, I thought, rah. The first thing I felt was growth. I thought he's obviously trying something. I could see it just through the track list and that, yeah. And honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't think he executed it that well. But I think that it was a decent attempt in what it was that he was trying to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. It was a weird project for me, but it wasn't a negative thing though. It wasn't a negative thing. It was almost like he's maybe trying to, I don't know, man. The sound of it was just not what I was expecting from him. And that's not a bad thing because I like when people try stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, try something different if that's how you feel. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to find out. Like,
he's too much of a good artist.
It'll be interesting to find out what his fans.
He's too much of a good artist. But you can see what the people they think. And this is no disrespect to Heady One. You know, when you go, like, for example, there's loads of music here that you can't really judge by numbers, or I can't really judge by numbers because it's about the sonic, and I understand why they've done it. They haven't done it to be a part of anything. It's not part of a machine. So do I like this song? Other songs you can see are a part of a machine, or they're just the most popular thing within that genre. So their numbers consistently do a certain thing. Heady One's numbers on this new project, well, the ones on YouTube anyway, they're not reflective of his numbers previously on other things that he's done. Or maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But when I've seen it, I'm like, I would thought he would have been rocketing with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe
I feel like that. But again, go on, sorry.
One thing I will say, what I've learned from a lot of artists, is that sometimes you never understand the project of change. You understand the project after. So, you know, when you're like, this is a bit different. You never really make, like Kanye West, he showed me that as well. Like, when I heard My Dark Twisted Fantasy, all them transitions and things he was doing prior began to make more and more sense to me. Because it was a great marriage of, like, vocal arrangement, of singing and rapping at the same time, with some absolutely incredible production behind it. So maybe Heady One's taken us to a next spot that we'll find out in his next journey, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to take an educated guess that I think he might have a better attempt at marrying his previous sound to this new thing that he's kind of trying and marrying it a lot better next time around. Do you get me? Sometimes you just got to have it. And do you know what? Maybe he likes it. Maybe he really, really likes it and it's mad important to him, innit? So you know what? If that's the case, you know what I mean? Do your thing, Dan. Brother! Hey, good to talk, man.
I miss you, Chucks, man.
Come on, man. I miss you too, bro. We'll talk again.
I miss you the way a razor misses your face, man.
Huh? Oh, look at it. I
miss you the way a razor.
Look at it, bro. It's all mad. It's all mad. But you know what? Anyway, I'm not even going to bother saying. We'll see what happens in it. Maybe next time you see me, things might look a little bit different, innit? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah? But we'll see.
I'll send a razor to your yard. I'll buy one. It's like £25 electric thing. You can just look smooth. You saw J2K. J2K, shout out J2K. Getting that quarantine trim himself, doing it himself. You can do the same thing. You just got to believe.
All right. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, innit? We'll see. Listen, brother. We'll chat. Yeah, love you, Mudgy. Yeah, man. Bless up.